What up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mo.J and we are locked in. Now, hey, Snowfall episode 7. We've been waiting on it. Fatback RIP, man. He was one of the most loyal people. Like I said before, all that boy wanted was a threesome when he got out of jail, but he got stabbed up. But before I get into the episode, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you want to be a part of this, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hey, we on that road to 5,000 subscribers. Hit that like button. Hey, and share this with somebody who needs to see it. But we know Leon was on the run. Fatback turned herself in. Fatback got killed. Khadijah, she's out in these streets. She's putting in more work than Scully and Manboy. And she's like, look, I want the killer of my daughter found ASAP. So let's see how this episode's gonna go. You know, I'm not gonna hold you up. This is episode 7 of Snowfall. The recap. Right now, we're having a meeting and we're all wondering what the hell is going on. So it turns out the cops came to the club because Fatback was dead there. But Tinashe, she held it down, said the owners and everything were out of town, so they ain't there. But Louie, she's like, we had those keys there, but you remember Franklin moved them. Him and Peaches, they moved them and they got stopped by the cops. So Franklin's trying to say, look, everything is all right. We just got to lay low and just keep doing what we do. Ship them things on out to Arkansas and we good. Y'all got the connection and stuff there. Also, Fatback took the murder. Fatback said he's the one that committed to murder. So Leon, you good. If they question you, hey, nah, Fatback said that Fatback's dead now, bro. So we ain't got nothing to do with that murder. I mean, we still got to watch out for Tinashe and Scully and Manboy. But as far as the cops, they not on our case. And that's the major thing right there. Because you know when the police on you, especially on a murder like this for a kid, oh yeah, they definitely going to be on you. Now, if you remember our favorite reporter, Irene, sticking her nose in all the places she shouldn't, she came to Alton and was like, listen, I need you to bring your son in and let me talk to him because I'm trying to get Reed, the CIA agent. So now Alton, he's in the position of, do I try to get Franklin out of the game? Do I talk to her and give her the information to try to go ahead and get Reed so we could be straight? But this is his dilemma because he's like, man, I don't know, man. Maybe they may do some janky stuff and end up getting my son. I don't think Alton's going to do it. I mean, I know he wants to get his son and his wife out of the game, but at the same time, man, that's risky. Now, Alton, he's having a little party at the house. They could have been playing Get Down on It. Get down on it. I would have showed up, knocked at the door. Hey, Franklin, y'all gonna let me party? But they all in there. They're just having a little, you know, saying a family get together. And they're just all reminiscing and things. And they're talking about Jerome's dad, Cissy's dad, and how their parents were when they were growing up. And also about Alton and how he was big into the Bible and things. But then Louis says, I'd have been interested in what your parents said about me. And Jerome, he's like, you definitely don't want to know what they would have said about. Because they would have told Jerome. And I'm sure Cissy probably told Jerome early, like, come on, don't be messing with her, bruh. Plus, she left you and went to go hang with the old girl. She lived with old girl and then came back to you when she got whooped on. Leave her alone, Jerome. And you already know how Jerome feels that Franklin is closer to her. You seen how he was acting in Arkansas. Now, Avi, he didn't hit Reed up like, hey, you gonna get on this plane with me and we gonna make some things happen. Now, as far as Teddy's been drinking. His brother's dead. His dad pretty much said, hey, you're out of the family. So he's drinking and then going through it. So he gets on the plane. He gets a shot. And then he's like, nah, I need to make this a little bit stronger. That thing probably got about as much drink as I got. And he puts the shades on. He's like, man, let's get this thing over with. Now look at Wanda. She's at the shelter that Alton is running. And it looks like she cleaned up. I don't know how long she's been in here, but she's a little bit clean and got some clean clothes on. And pretty much Alton has her doing things like, hey, run through those sheets, get this, make sure this is straight. She's like, oh, okay, I'll take care of this. But then she asks him, hey, Alton, you're Franklin Saint's father, right? So for him, when anybody brings up something about Franklin, he's automatically thinking it may be an op, it may be a cop, it may be Irene. But if they're asking about Franklin, I gotta be iffy. So he asks, how do you know Franklin? She's like, oh, you know, just from around the neighborhood. So he's like, he's probably gonna have to ask Franklin about Wanda. But if she's in here and the way she came in, she's a junkie. Watch out for Wanda. Now, if you remember a couple of episodes ago, there's a guy, Mr. Baxter. He came in, his son was watching his daughter, feeding him and stuff. And he came in, he was junkie. He's supposed to go buy diapers, but he went and got some rock with it. Well, there's a baby in here and it's too much crying and stuff going on. They're like, where's the dad at? Where's the dad at? So they go looking for the dad and they find him outside, sitting down on drugs, dead against the wall. You see a guy running off. Now the baby's on the inside. Now Alton, he's probably thinking, man, I gotta adopt this kid. But man, you gotta watch out for these junkies when they're in the shelter. You give them one warning, and after that, you gotta get rid of them, man. Now Franklin gotta bust these moves, because you remember Reed said, hey, we all sacrifice, but you can't miss no more drops. So while him and Peaches, they driving, they're getting followed. And he tells Peaches to pull over. Peaches hops out. He got that Thule on him. He yelling at him like, hey, what do y'all want? And they turn around and they drive off. So when he gets in the car, Franklin's like, all right, if they wanted the jackers, they would already did that. But they were some black dudes, so it isn't cops. And they follow us from the club. They were trying to follow us to see who the plug is, because everybody is trying to get to connect so they can get rid of Franklin. You see how that works? You remove Franklin, you go straight to the connect, and now you open up shop for cheaper prices than what Franklin was selling them to you for. Alton calls the cops. The cops come, they do a little report and stuff. You see the son sitting over there, and the daughter, I don't know where she's at, but you got child protective services. They're in there too, and they're saying, yeah, we're going to take the daughter for now, and then we'll come back and we'll deal with the son. But we're going to have to try to locate the nearest relative or the next of kin to be able to give them to them. If not, then we're going to have to take both of them and put the son in a foster home, and then put the child up, the little girl up for adoption. So Alton is thinking, man, I really don't want that to happen. Leon got to go back to the projects. Now the projects, they pretty much open market at this point, since Leon ain't there, Fatback ain't there. When he gets there, turns out Fatback's cousin is there, and he's sitting there with his boys, pretty much like, yeah, this is our spot. Now he tells Leon, Fatback wasn't no gangster, but what Fatback did do was make sure all his family members and the people around him were good. Basically saying he was doing more than what you were doing, Leon. And Leon's trying to tell him, hey, Fatback was my dog. I ain't here to start no beef or anything. I'm just here to talk business. You got the projects, name the price. And the cousin's like, nah, forget that, man. Let's get it on. And Franklin's like, Leon, he's telling them, I ain't here for that. We here to talk business and try to correct whatever happened. But the cousin doesn't know that Fatback was killed because of, he just knows that Fatback was stabbed up and it was some beef stuff, but Fatback ain't a gangster. So Leon, they walk off and they like, all right, we got to make something happen. Franklin goes and meets up with Gustavo, because Gustavo is actually running the point while Teddy's up and out of here. Now Franklin's like, hey man, hey, something wrong with Teddy? He don't seem right. And Gustavo's like, look man, I'm just here to move this work. That's how I was as a worker. I don't know nothing about the boss. I don't know nothing about this. All I know is I'm supposed to give you this work and you get up out of here. If you want to know what's wrong with Teddy, go ask him. So Franklin's like, okay, you might be right about that. But Gustavo, he's at the point where I don't want nothing to do with this. I want to goddamn move this stuff and get up out the game, bro, because I done lost too many people behind this stuff. Alton comes home with the idea to tell Cissy, all right, now there's 2 kids, their dad died. I'm thinking about, maybe maybe we should adopt them. Because if not, people don't adopt 2 of the same, 2 siblings, especially a teenager and an infant. They probably gonna take the infant. He's just gonna have to grow up in the foster home. And Cissy's like, we don't need to be doing that. We got a lot of stuff going on. We moving dope. We got people shooting at us. This would be the dumbest idea to bring a child into the situation. But then it leads into, hey, I want Franklin to get out the game. I have a way for us to walk away from it. And Cissy's like, I'm not going to abandon my son again. We said 2 years and we're out. And Alton knows, man, when you're in the dope game like this, they ain't really making no money at this point. It ain't like they got a lot of money stacked. So you ain't going to just exit the game like that. It's not like Franklin is at the very top where he got millions and he can just chill. Nah, they still out here struggling. But he's trying to tell Cissy, look, we got to get Franklin to go ahead and walk away from it, because this is a dangerous game we're playing. Ivy has Teddy on this plane, and like I said earlier, Teddy's going through things, and he just on there now. Ivy, he's like, all right, man, you know, maybe you need to do a little coping. And Teddy's like, nah, I'm just doing my best impression of you. So Ivy starts to say, nah, listen, hear me out. I used to be like you. I used to work with the agency, you know what I'm saying, down there in South America, Central America. I used to do my thing. And then Reed remembers the case. He's like, 72. Oh, you the guy that put the explosive by the boat? And Ivy's like, yeah. So I was just like you. I was working for the government, you know what I'm saying, making things happen. So Ivy's trying to say, hey, look, I kind of know what you're going through. You're going to have to get through it, though. But look, we got to make something happen, Teddy. So whatever you're going through, get through it, bruh. And he throws the hint at Teddy. The thing I should have known, I should have just walked away. Pretty much telling Teddy, hey, man, you done started up so much stuff. You need to go ahead and get up out of this, because a lot of things are going to start to crash down on you. We already know Irene's on this case. So Ivy knows what he's talking about. Even though he's a little crooked, he knows what he's talking about. Like, hey, you need to walk away from this. But Teddy ain't understanding it like that. Now, this right here is some silly stuff. Now, these two women pull up on Manboy because Khadijah, she put out a $5,000 hit on Leon, and they pull up with the nice whip. They got a body in the back, and they talking to Manboy like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? We got Leon in here. Let's get that 5 bands. He's like, man, what? They open up the trunk. It's some random person with an afro. Manboy's like, man, get this shit up out of here. And they talking about, oh, we broke our nail putting them in the thing. Can we at least get 4,000? He's like, man, y'all hoes get up out of here. And she's like, all right, man, maybe 3,000. So even back then in the early 90s, these women felt entitled to some money for killing somebody that had nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing to do. Nothing to do with Khadijah's daughter. And they like, can we get some money? Manboy about, man, y'all don't get the hell up out of here. Leon's still trying to make that deal in the projects. Now, he goes up to Jerome because they OGs. Jerome's an OG. I'm an OG. We all OGs. You know what I'm saying? But he goes up to Jerome. He's like, hey, man, I got a problem. I don't know how to talk to these dudes. You came up with them. What should I do? And Jerome breaks it down for him like, hey, these dudes, Fatback looked out for him. He didn't just pay the overhead, mean like, hey, if we got $10 and the overhead is $5, he's gonna give him $5. Nah, he would give him $5 and then he make sure they straight, food, clothes, whatever. So he's telling Leon like, all right, man, I'll roll with you over there. Whole time, Auntie Louie's like, oh, that was a long time ago. But that's one thing Jerome hates, is her trying to protect him, because he knows what he's doing, but she's treating him like he doesn't know what's going on. So for Jerome, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go help Leon because, hey, we got to get some money rolling. And he ain't really with that Arkansas stuff, to be honest with you. He like, man, we got to get back right here where we at. So the OG's gonna help Leon out. Then Jerome gets on her ass talking about, y'all know you the one that said we got to put in the work for the CIA agent. So what, you want to go to the projects and you want to handle it, or you want me to go over there and handle it? Pretty much what he's saying is, all this is the stuff that y'all were talking about we got to do. So when I'm talking about let's go do it, you trying to stop me and hold me back. Jerome ain't with that. He's about that action and about getting things done. That's it. And he ain't trying to go back to Arkansas. Manboy and Khadijah, now they have a little family argument. You know how it is. I got 2 older sisters. I used to argue with them a little bit, but they were older and they try to whoop on me. But Manboy goes in here and he's telling Khadijah, hey, I'm doing things my way. You got random people, you got stupid females out here killing people just to try to get some money. You bringing the heat on us. So Khadijah's like, well, I'm out here actually doing something. You know what I'm saying? The Manboy is in it. You know he wants to go off, but it's his sister. But he's just telling her, listen, I got stuff in play. We need to cancel everything that you got. And Khadijah tells her, well, you need to hurry up with whatever you're doing because it takes a while to call off a hit. And I'm just trying to get who got my daughter. And then she walks off and Manboy just starts breaking shit. But hey, man, he's right. You about to bring a lot of unnecessary hits out. And unnecessary attention from the cops just from random killings to try to get to Leon, and it's the wrong person. My dog Alton, he didn't hit up our favorite reporter Irene. He went to the bar. He was about to order a drink, but he's like, nah, I'm sober. Let me get a club soda. Now she comes in, she sits down, and Alton, he sits down there. And you know when anybody sits down with their hands like this, They about to be serious as hell. Now he sits down and says, listen, you said you want the CIA agent, right? I want my family protected. She is just a reporter. She's not gonna be able to protect you from nothing. You're gonna have to get like a detective or an officer or somebody, a lawyer or something that's gonna actually be able to guarantee you that protection, you and your family. But what she's gonna do is put out a report that doesn't mention Franklin or anything. It's just gonna be all about Reed. So, hey, Alton sat down with her, but at least he ain't giving up Franklin. I can give him that. Turns out Jerome was like, hey, Leon, get the stuff together. We're going to go to the project. We're going to put on a little barbecue. You know what I'm saying? Everybody come on out, get you a plate. Hey, guess who shows up? It's Wanda, the junkie. Now she comes over. She's like, hey, what's up, Lee? You know, I'm clean now. I'm at the shelter. But why you didn't tell me that was Franklin's daddy? And Leon's like, man, I didn't think that would matter. But she does bring up, I seen Alton. He was talking to some Oriental lady. I don't know what it's about, but she keeps asking stuff. And Leon, he doesn't know what's going on. So he's like, oh, okay. But then Wanda comes over and asks for a job. He's like, you asking for a job? And she's trying to convince him she's clean. But once a junkie, always a junkie. And come on, man. I mean, people do get clean, but Wanda is too soon. I don't believe it. But Fatback's his cousin and people are pulling up. So he's like, hey, get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? I gotta talk some business. I'll talk to your junkie self later. Dion come over and he looking at Leon. Hey, I told you it ain't gonna be no business. And Leon like, it ain't none. Then you got Jerome. Hey, Big D, Dion, okay. Hey, you bench 350? He's like, nah, 4 plates. He's like, okay, yeah, you supposed to be Mr. Olympia. He's like, yeah, I ain't competing no more. Knocked the dude out for saying I use steroids. So what Jerome did was not only have something relatable about him. Okay, I knew he used to do big things. He also knew some of his people, because when Jerome first got here, those are the people that help embrace him. So he asked Jerome, how you know Leon? He's like, that's my business partner. You know what I'm saying? We do everything together. So he's like, all right, well, look, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry about Fatback, and we're going to pay for his funeral, and then we're going to pay the overhead. We'll pay you double right now, but we're going to need some soldiers, because we're going to go get the dudes that did this. So Big Dion's like, all right, that's cool. We'll take that bread. But then he introduces us into a guy named Human Einstein. Now, he's real good with numbers, and he's like, this is one of the soldiers we'll give you. And Leon's like, man, we need more than that. We need some, you know what I'm saying, some hitters. But he's like, look, these people, they loyal. You take care of them. Anything happen to them, then it's over with. But y'all take these people. And Jerome, he's looking at it like, all right, man, we got to do what we got to do. So let's eat. So pretty much Dion's like, all right, you make sure these people are straight that we got. He knows the numbers and stuff, so he can help y'all do whatever y'all do with the numbers. But hey, this is where we'll start at. We got to see if y'all loyal, just like we loyal, gonna be loyal to y'all. Franklin pulls up on Mama saying she got a little bit of new ice on her wrist. Franklin like, ooh, I see you, Mama, you shining. She like, thank you. She says you deserve it. She's like, I know, thank you, I thank you. But I took your advice and I went to talk to Davis, and he's bringing us in on 2 properties. Now, Franklin is happy. She's like, I took your advice. And he's saying, did you ever think we'd be in a position to give away $250,000? And she's like, I didn't, but I always knew you would. That's because a mom always believes in her child, no matter what. So she's not bringing up anything that Alton was talking about getting Franklin out the game. Because as long as Franklin is happy, Mama's saying it's going to be happy. And you can tell it on her face, because she says she's not leaving her son again. Alton, he gets on the tape recorder with Irene. He goes to the house with Irene. She's showing the little bulletin board of all the information she got. And if you can see, you got my boy Teddy up there. And he's just looking at it. Now he's looking around like, dang, I thought you was lying the whole time you said you lived around the corner from the shelter. She's like, nah, I've been here all my life. I grew up here. This is my parents' house. So Alton, he's starting to think, man, should I really go through with this? And she's like, all right, I got to confirm a few things with you just to make sure that everything's checking out so I can get timelines and, you know, saying everything in order. But Alton, he's really he's thinking hard like, man, should I really do this? I still don't think he should do it just because, like, man, you're going to need a lawyer. This reporter can't guarantee you nothing, bruh. Avi and Teddy, they pull up to the bank. Now, Teddy, he's sitting there. He's been going through it. And when he gets there, the teller tells him, yeah, man, The $15 million that was stolen from your bank, we thought it was an escrow and it was sent to Lebanon, but it wasn't. The guy here, he took it and he sent it to multiple accounts. But don't worry about it because we put 15 million back in your account. And Teddy's like, no, I'm not trying to hear that crap. $15 million out of my account is stolen. That's not an error. Why isn't the dude arrested or anything? And they're like, oh, because if he ran, then he'd be guilty. But if he's still here and just moved the money around, Teddy ain't trying to hear that. Now, I call my bank when I see $100 or like $20 that I didn't make. I'm like, hey, y'all need to fix this. But $15 million, Teddy flew all the way down here. And now the bank's telling him he can't talk to the employee that stole his money because they got their own people. I'm thinking this is an inside job. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking she knows what went wrong. And now that Teddy's down there with Avi, they like, oh, we fixed it. We put the money back in your account. But Teddy, he's like, hey, we need to rethink this financial agreement because he's about to move his money up out this bank. And moving $15 million out of any bank, that's going to really hurt that bank when that $15 million is gone and going into somebody else's bank. But Teddy ain't playing. Alton has put me to shame. Now he comes into the house and Cissy's like, oh, you left hours ago. Where you been? And all Alton could do, he can't even look her in the eye. He's just looking down and saying, hey, I want you to know what I did for all of us. Boy, you just put us in the worst position ever. Now we got to go ahead and try to get rid of Irene. And Cissy, she's looking like, did you really just say you did? I had high hopes for it. Man, Alton, you really let me down with this, bruh. You done messed up the whole, oh my God. You just set us back, bruh. Now, here's probably now this is some real stuff. Listen to what Jerome's telling these young niggas that are on the block. Listen, I ain't none of y'all daddy. So that means we out here, we clicked up, we got to work together. That means if you missing some money, that's your ass. If you missing some product, that's your ass. Then he grabs his pistol. Like, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. We hold it down. So Jerome is up in the projects and he's laying down the law. Leon comes over. He's like, all right, you think they ready? Jerome's like, yeah, they ready. So Leon tells him, hey, y'all get the project. I want all these corners set up tonight. And where's the smart dude at, man? Where's the Einstein at? Cause I need me some soldiers. Where's he at? Jerome's like, oh, he taking the shit. While all this is going on, a junkie walks up on Leon with that thing out talking about, oh, it's a bounty on your head. And they like, oh, whoa, what you talking about? And guess who shows up? My dog Einstein. He comes up with that pistol behind their head, tells her, it ain't going down like that. So it turns out Einstein is actually a rider. You said he's actually a rider. And he doing what he's supposed to do. So Leon goes up to her like, how you gonna collect this money if you dead? But then he puts a little bit of money in her pocket because she's talking about, come on, man, I need this money, man, because my sister off the pipe. I'm off that thing, too. So he puts some money in there. But Jerome is like, nah, forget that. He takes some money out and he asks her, what you know about this bounty? Pretty much he's about to get who put the bounty out? Where are these people located? How did you hear it? You got to get this kind of information. Leon was just going to give the junkie some money and get him up out of there. But Jerome is thinking, we got to handle them before they get us. Remember what I told y'all. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Teddy went back to the room. He got on the phone making calls. All right, man, look, this account, there was a wire. It may have been to Lebanon. I need you to check this. There was some money in here. What do you know about this? Could you give me some information on this? Because he's trying to figure out who the hell stole this money. And it's seeming like Ivy might have something to do with it. And that's just me personally from looking at it. It looked like Ivy might have something to do because he keeps stepping in like, oh, don't worry about it. The money was stolen, but we're still good. But he comes and knocks on his door like, have a drink. And Teddy's telling him this ain't the time for it. And he keeps trying to close the door and get Ivy out of there. But Ivy is persistent. He doesn't get in, but he's like, all right, hey, look, just drink, just chill, just hang out. And then Teddy closed the door and he's trying to say, hey, I hope you're not going to do what I think you're doing. Talking about moving the money out the account. Because this may mess up something that Ivy has. He may have a deal with the bank. Like, I can keep this 15 in from Teddy, but y'all gotta, help me do whatever I do. That's just my theory. Let me know what y'all think. Henry pulls up to Irene and she's trying to offer him drinks. She's trying to get my dog drunk. Look, Irene, he don't want it no more. He left you for a reason. Now she's telling Henry, look, man, I got the story of my life, man. We finally got it. It's finally about to break. Ooh, we about to do good. And Henry's like, look, I don't want nothing to do with that story. And she's like, I know I've been a bad mom and our daughter's grown. She lives outside of the city. She's somewhere else. And I know I always worked and stuff. So she's trying to put the blame on her why the relationship didn't work. And Henry, he's looking at it like, man, I don't want nothing to do with this, because if you start exposing CIA, they not only gonna come for you, they may mess with our daughter, they may mess with me. I don't want nothing to do with it. So he's dipping and she just taking the shots and drinking. Man, when you messing with that government, it ain't no joke. They could get you off quick. Now everyone's having to sit down at the club, and Auntie Louie, she's going off. But Jerome and Leon, they trying to say, hey, we got things going. We got the project back up and running. We got a little bit of connect. We got some help, some muscle. But there's a bounty on Leon's head. And Auntie Louie, she's tripping. How are we gonna run this organization with a bounty and worried about getting shot at? And Jerome's like, hey, we was already worried about that from the get-go. We've been trying to tell you that. Now, things are starting to look a little bit better. Of course, there is that bounty. But then Cissy comes in, and you can tell there's something disturbing on her mind, because she looks at Franklin, and she's like, I need to talk to you, like, right now. I told y'all, Teddy ain't playing. Teddy pulled up on whoever. This may not be the right person, but hey, you moved the money out of my account. The guy wakes up like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Que pasa, hold on. And Teddy's like, nah, you stole that money from me. He gets up, stabs him in the neck. I don't know what he stabbed him with, but he probably just put him to sleep, because he wants to figure out, how did you launder that money? Because I think Teddy's going to try to exit the game and put some money in a hidden account that ain't no one going to know about, not even the government. That's just my theory. Franklin gets to the house, and Alton's in there talking about, hey man, I had to do this, man. The story was gonna get broke one way or another, man. So I was just trying to make sure we safe. And Franklin is talking about, why'd you do something so reckless without me? Alton, you're collapsing the whole thing. Now, Alton, he looks at Franklin, he says, son, I'm just doing this to protect us. You're killing us, son. You're killing our own people. And Franklin slaps the hell out of him. I'm talking about slapping him so hard, he falls on the couch, head's bleeding. I ain't never seen no one bleeding from the head, where it looked like you got stabbed up here and you bleeding from the head. Bleeding from the head, people, from a damn open hand slap. Alton, he ain't playing with your ass. He is not playing with you. Don't ever call him son again. I told y'all Teddy ain't playing around. He took old boy, tied him up in a chair, had him sitting in there, tied up. He's like, who are you? He's like, I'm just a banker. I'm just a banker. And Teddy's like, nah, I ain't trying to hear that. Where my money at? He's like, I'm just a banker. I don't know. So Teddy gives him a history lesson, turns on some music. I'm like, oh, this is some stuff they used to do in Britain. It's just a little torture. And pretty much it's just waterboarding. Put the towel over their head, pour water on them, simulates drowning. Don't do this at home, kids. It's silly and you could die from it. But put it over, because it's going to simulate them drowning, because you got wet water over there. You can't breathe because the towel is wet, and you got water coming in. You don't know when the water's going to stop, because the towel's holding it in and letting it seep in. But Teddy ain't playing around. $15 million, I wouldn't be playing around either. Franklin calls up Gustavo. Hey, bro, I got an emergency. Where the hell is Reed? He's like, man, he ain't here, man. He ain't here. and Franklin, he's hey, they might be going down. He's like, hey, bro, you need to get him. And Gustavo's like, bro, he ain't here. He is not here. And he tells Franklin, hey, ain't nothing I can do about that. He ain't here. He hangs up. But a fax comes through. And when he looks at it, he's reading. It's talking about Lucia, and it's Miami to New York. So maybe Lucia ain't who Lucia said she was. Turns out the lady from the bank and Javi, they show up. But right before they kick in the door with the two police officers, Teddy is up and out the window, because they knew he was going to go find who that banker was. But it's something about Javi. Like, why are you hanging with the banker? You know what I'm saying? You came here with Teddy. You're supposed to be working with Teddy. But I'm telling you, I think Javi has something to do with it also. But Teddy got up out that window and he's up out of there. So he's probably about to move that money. But Javi don't want that to happen. Franklin stressed out. He got to kind of lay low because Alton ran his mouth. And now you don't know if you can trust Alton to just only talk to Irene or actually go to the cops. So he goes over to T's house. Talking about he hungry. She talking about she ain't cooking. Father's like, girl, you don't get up off your ass and make me something to eat. But nah, they just chilling. And then Franklin goes over there and she starts, you know what I'm saying, massaging their head, just getting them to relax. But We all think that she's doing a little fishy, something fishy. She may be working with Scully or Manboy or something. She's trying to extort information from Franklin by trying to be all close to him. Our favorite reporter, Irene, listening back to the recording of Alton Thompson, CIA, bringing cocaine in. And she's typing it up, and we see her bringing it into the office. She's about to put this story out there, and things are about to blow the hell up. All right, there you go. Episode 7. Let me know what y'all think below, man. Do you think Ivy had anything to do with Teddy's money coming up missing and not stolen down there? Let me know what y'all think. But that's episode 7. It was a good one. So next week it's about to be crazy for real. I'm Mo.J. If you like the content on the channel, hit that subscribe button. Definitely give me a like. Tune in next week for Snowfall. I'm Mo.J. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.